I want to tell you a story today. And the subject of this story, and of course, it's a past life regression story, is the ability to provide for our family. And this is such a relevant story for us to talk about because of everything that is going on in the world. So, yesterday, I did a past life regression with a woman who said to me at first that ever since she has been a child, she has always placed a lot of pressure on herself and a lot of importance on being independent, being able to do things herself. And as she grew up, it was always about being independent and being able to provide for herself. However, you understand that from a point of creation, that when you focus on something, it expands. And so she has been having the experience of not being able to provide for herself, not being able to provide for her family. And so when she gave birth to her first child, she stayed home. Then another child came in, and her husband is now the bread earner in the family. And every day when she looks at him, she goes into these moments of panic of what if something happens to him? How am I going to able to take care of my children and of myself? Because no matter what I can provide and earn, it's not enough. And it's not what I can do for us in the best possible way. And so uh, um, I guided her into a state of relaxation so that she can connect with her past lives. And the first life that she experienced was a shipwreck life. So she was a man who was on a ship, and as this man, he saw this woman. So my client is this man. There was a woman on the ship that he was not able to protect, and so there was a shipwreck. um, Everybody died. Somehow this man was able to survive and kept on, and somehow he was picked up and was able to return back to civilization. And he was able to become a teacher and proud of teaching the children. And on his last day of his life, he was alone. There's such loneliness and the awareness that he gave what he could, but the guilt of I couldn't save that woman, I couldn't protect her. And I think the understanding was that this man was charged with the responsibility of taking care of this woman. That's why specifically that guilt. So I wasn't able to provide. I wasn't able to provide security. I wasn't able to provide what this woman wanted. So that was the first lifetime. The second lifetime that the client experienced is that she saw herself. So the first life she was a man, now she's a woman. And as this woman, she saw herself as a tall, young, as a tall African woman, and she just kept on saying at first how beautiful she is, how tall she is, and she was holding a small baby, and they were part of a tribe. And it was so interesting how she described to me the scene, how she was squatting in front of this black pot, and she was holding the baby and kind of squatting, and there was no food in the pot. And it was so interesting because no one around the tribe was not starving. So this was at first while she was trying to make sense of everything, right? And she was saying nobody's starving, there's no food, but people are just going about their day. And then she was saying, there's only women around here. And then the men arrived, they have been hunting, and the women went to greet them. And then this is when the client realized that she doesn't have a male partner, that she doesn't have um, a husband who brings food back for her. But there was no sadness, there was no fear because there was sharing. She was taken care of. The tribe was taking care of her. And then as her baby grew up, he grew up to be a man who went out to hunt along with the other men, and he would bring food for her and everybody else. And so the lesson from that lifetime is that you'll be always all right. You're always provided for. There's always more than enough. And this is a really significant lesson for her because in this life, as who she is, as the woman she is today, ever since a little girl, she was putting stress on the need to provide. But do you see that this stress was based on the fear of not enoughness? It wasn't because if it was the confidence of, yes, I go do, there wouldn't have been all her life such a pressure on, I need to provide, I need to make money, I need to provide, there needs to be food, there needs to be more than enough. And so it was really very healing for her to understand that she has been operating all her life from a place of ego, from a place of separation, from a place of I need to figure it out and go do this, instead of from a place of togetherness where I'm always provided, I'm always taken care of. The universe is my partner, God is my partner, God is the source of my supply. Through other people, supply comes to me, right? In other words, people are a cooperative component. They're part of my supply. There's always more than enough. I'm always taken care of. So it was really very good for her to learn and understand that she's using her creative powers in the wrong way by saying, what if something happens to my husband? I wouldn't be able to provide for my children and for myself. That's not how we use our creative powers, right? We use them, our thoughts and our emotions to focus on creating reality by saying, I'm always provided, I'm capable, I'm confident, I'm always guided. There's always a way, there's always a community, there are always people who take care of me, I'm never alone. Because that's the fear of the ego, the separation, right? The separation of I'm separate, there's not enough. And the opposite, where we want to be, is the place of abundance. There is enough. I'm always tapped into the stream. I'm always listening to the guidance. I know that the divine is my supply, and that's inexhaustible. So as I open, as I receive, as I give gratitude, as I chill and feel calm and safe, it's here, it's coming, versus the fear, versus the anxiety, versus driving ourselves crazy. So please tell me your thoughts on this subject of not enoughness, providing. I would love to hear your thoughts, your experience. I would love to hear how you have bridged that for yourself. And if you haven't reached out to me, reach out to me at info@mirakelly.com so I can guide you to find that place of safety, that you are safe in this world and that you're always provided and taken care of. I love you. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.